On Greenland, Beijing is firing back hard. As President Donald Trump ramps up threats to take control of Greenland, China is now publicly rejecting what it calls a manufactured excuse. Beijing says the so-called China threat is being used to justify American self-interest in the Arctic. China's foreign ministry urged the United States to stop using China as a justification for aggressive moves in Greenland. Officials warned Washington against turning Arctic security into a geopolitical power grab. Trump has repeatedly argued Greenland faces threats from Russia and China and says that's why the island must come under U.S. control. He now wants leverage, threatening tariffs to force Denmark and Europe to negotiate.
But we need that because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger, there are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way.
In posts on Truth Social, Trump warned of 10% tariffs starting February 1st, 2026, rising to 25% by June unless Europe agrees to what he calls the complete and total purchase of Greenland. European Union and NATO leaders have united behind Denmark, warning that economic coercion could damage transatlantic trust. They insist Greenland's future must be decided by Greenlanders, not tariffs. The dispute has exposed strains within NATO itself. Some U.S. lawmakers and even European populist allies are distancing themselves from Trump's tactics, warning of lasting damage to Allied unity. Emergency meetings are underway in Brussels, with EU officials discussing possible retaliatory trade measures if tariffs proceed. China, meanwhile, is watching closely, rejecting blame while benefiting from Western division. For now, Greenland remains the fault line. China says it won't be used as an excuse. Europe says sovereignty is non-negotiable, and the United States is testing how far pressure can go before alliances begin to fracture.
And I may do that for Greenland, too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you a little.
A transatlantic showdown has erupted. President Donald Trump has triggered a political and economic firestorm after announcing sweeping tariffs on European allies he accuses of blocking a U.S. deal for Greenland. The move has sparked fierce backlash, not just across Europe, but inside the United States, with allies and lawmakers warning Trump is pushing NATO and global trade toward crisis. On Saturday, Trump declared that 8 European countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Finland, and Great Britain, will face new 10% tariffs starting February 1st. The president framed the move as pressure over Greenland, an autonomous Danish territory he wants the U.S. to acquire. European leaders wasted no time responding. French President Emmanuel Macron called the tariff threat unacceptable, warning Europe would respond in a united and coordinated way if Trump follows through. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen echoed that message, pledging full solidarity with Denmark and Greenland. She stressed that dialogue, not economic coercion, is the only acceptable path forward. Sweden's Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson issued one of the strongest rebukes yet, warning Washington against blackmailing its allies. He said only Denmark and Greenland have the right to decide the island's future, and confirmed talks are underway for a coordinated European response. Denmark's foreign minister said he was surprised by Trump's move, noting recent European deployments to Greenland were meant to enhance Arctic security, not provoke conflict. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer backed Europe, saying Arctic security is a NATO-wide concern and the issue would be raised directly with Washington. Trump's announcement also drew sharp criticism at home. Senator Bernie Sanders accused the president of trying to destroy U.S. alliances over an island America already has access to, calling the move insane. Other lawmakers warned tariffs and threats are isolating the U.S. Democratic Senator Mark Kelly said European troops arriving in Greenland to deter U.S. pressure should be a wake-up call. He warned Trump's actions are damaging America's reputation and making the country less safe by alienating its closest allies. What began as an aggressive push for Greenland has now evolved into a test of America's global leadership. With allies united against him and critics growing louder at home, Trump's tariff gambit risks reshaping alliances, trade, and trust, with consequences far beyond the Arctic.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.